Welcome to the Mindset Mastery Classroom. This semester, we're going to be learning about self-mastery, how to master the areas of personal achievement. We're going to be talking about money mastery and relationship mastery. I am your host, Devon Martin, and this is where you come to realize you can be anything you want to be, do anything you want to do, and have anything you want to have. Welcome to the Mindset Mastery Classroom, and class is now in session.
Yeah, I'm fly, got a cape on. Superhero, it's a fly zone. Get your game on, self-talk on. We gon' live long, and we feeling strong. Always put my fear to the side. If the goal is success, that's mine.
All right, and we're back. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Mastery Classroom podcast. And today we're going to dive a little deeper into the fascinating world of emotional mastery. Let's jump right into it. And as any good teacher, if I didn't come prepared, I didn't have notes or anything like that, I wouldn't be able to give you guys the best possible value. If you're actually watching this on video, you may occasionally see me look here. I got my laptop in front of me just so I have my notes so I can make sure I also stay on track, right? But I make sure that I give you guys the most valuable possible. Let's jump right into it. The first topic is what actually is emotional mastery. And from the world of Devon, the author of The Mindset Mastery, I would say emotional mastery isn't about controlling or suppressing your feelings, your emotions. And we hear a lot of people talk about this, right? That maybe anger, you shouldn't allow yourself to move into anger or frustration and hold that within and all these other ideas and things like that. However, again, that's controlling, that's suppressing your feelings. I would like to help you reframe that and understand that your emotions, that's something that you should embrace. You should try to understand your emotions and see them as tools. See your emotions as strategies. What I like to say is to see your emotions as a resource state, that they are resources, they are resource states that you can actually tap into whenever you want to get the outcome that you desire. And when I was thinking about this, right, and we're going to do an activity a little bit later, but I started to remember times where I utilized different resource states and before I had this knowledge. And I am an athlete. I love staying healthy. I love exercising, but in the past I used to play football, right? So I remember this one particular game. Everything was going right, but everything was going wrong, right? And so I can't remember what the score was. I want to say we were down this time. Coach is yelling at me. I'm playing cornerback, right? And I'm supposed to cover the flats, and the wide receiver, he runs a 9. So, all right, that's the safety's problem. And now my coach is yelling at me, telling me I should have stayed with him. And I'm like, but I'm in my zone coverage. Like, everything's going crazy, right? And so I'm getting more and more frustrated, right? And angry. A couple plays play out, and they're back on the field again. Defense, we're back on, and the opposing team, they decide to do a run play, and the play is on the opposite side of the field. I'm just kind of jogging. Well, linebackers, they already got it. The play is already getting ready to be caught dead. By the time I try to run, sprint over there, nothing's going to happen. So I'll just kind of keep my wide receiver out of it. I'll do what I can and just kind of back up and just make sure, see if the running back makes a break for it or anything, I can be there to stop him. And all of a sudden, the wide receiver comes at me full speed, boom, and like tries to check me, right? And we kind of just hit each other, and that's that. But he grabs me and he's trying to actually like block me in a way, like kind of throw me down, right? And I was just so confused and so shocked. Now, mind you, I'm already pretty angry and pretty frustrated. My coach is yelling at me, oh, we're losing, all these things are happening, right? And I'm sitting here, dude, the ball is on the opposite side of the field. You're over here playing balls to the wall, right? Taking me out. Is that how you want to play? Is that what we're doing? Say no more, right? The play call's dead, right? And I'm like, oh, this dude, he's trying to hit. He's trying to see what's up. All right, I cannot wait for the next play. We're getting our defensive call from the coach. They're getting their call, and I line up right at the last second. The coach goes clamp, clamp, clamp. So clamp, if you're not familiar, is when the cornerback, the defensive side, they pull up all the way as close to the line as possible. And so right when the receiver comes off the line, you're already on his hip, right? So he called clamp. I'm like, yo, perfect. Ball hikes. Hike. As soon as it hikes, I take that 1-2 step, lower my shoulder, and with the strength of God, grab this dude right up underneath the pads, knocked him, lift him up, and just launched this dude like 5 yards. And you just hear it. I'm on my sideline, so you hear everybody on my sideline. Oh, everybody is going crazy because I had to do so hard. He flew, right? And it was hilarious to me because then after that play, the next couple of plays, everything started like pretty much going our favor. They must have got a little scared. They're wide receivers because they started not playing as aggressive on the run plays. They weren't really trying to block us or anything. And the guy that I was guarding, he didn't want any more of me for the rest of the game. And so that was very interesting moment to me because I was able to tap into a different resource state, anger, right? And I was able to utilize that in the game in a way that was still successful, right? Now, anger is a very interesting emotion because if we don't have the EQ, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, the emotional intelligence, then we can utilize resource states in a way that is not the most advantageous to us. In a scenario like that, it's a football game, it's very physical. That resource state could be something that could help you, right? So let's talk about the link between thoughts and emotions, right? Our emotions just don't appear out of nowhere. They are often the result of our thoughts. And by mastering our mindset, we can have a positive influence on our emotional state. Let's try this activity. I want you guys to think of the last time that you felt very angry, a very strong emotion of anger. It could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be frustration. Maybe you got into an argument with a family, a friend, a loved one, maybe your boss. Maybe you were just really frustrated one day. I want you to really, really think back and find a moment in time where you felt that emotion. And I want you to float back down into your body, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt. And if you're doing this correctly, you should actually be bubbling up that feeling of anger or frustration or whatever it is for you. Interesting, right? Now, I'm not going to leave you guys in that state. Now I want you to recall a happy memory, or even better, recall a memory that you felt absolutely proud of yourself. You felt so accomplished. You set a goal, you worked your butt off, and you accomplished it. You did it. Recall that memory now. And when you have that memory, float down back into your body, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt when you were at your proudest moment. So good, so excited. And again, I'm feeling the energy. I'm getting more excited just taking you guys through this exercise, right? Now, notice how that simple exercise actually shifted your emotion. Let's bring our awareness back into this and take something out of this. That is the power of thought. See, what did you just do right there? When I asked you to think of the last time you felt that powerful emotion of sadness, frustration, or anger, realize that in this moment, you weren't actually experiencing what you previously experienced, your past. You weren't, right? And even the happy memory or the proud memory, I'm not experiencing that right now in this moment. But the interesting thing is we were still able to recall those memories and feel the same feelings that we felt when we were actually living the experience. However, currently, right now, we're not living the experience. Guys, I hope you understand how profound this is. Again, you were able to take a memory, something that happened in your past, and pull that energy from your past right to the present moment, to your now reality. And this is so huge because oftentimes we find ourselves in these reoccurring emotional states. Again, and it's usually the lower end of the spectrum, the stress, the fear, the anxiety, right? The worry. I was working with a client one time and we were trying to help her get over the job environment that she was in, right? She didn't really like it. And oftentimes she would talk about how her boss and her would always butt heads and they would get into arguments and all these things. And she's like, even I'm not even at work yet. I'm on my way to work and my blood is just boiling. I'm getting heated. And I said, well, what are you thinking about? What are the images? What are the pictures? What are you saying in your own mind when you're on your way to work? And she's like, well, I'm literally arguing with my boss. I'm thinking about an argument, or I'm thinking about he's going to tell me this, or that I didn't do a good job on that, or all these things, right? And I said, wow, isn't that amazing? You are literally in your car, and tell me if you guys have done this, if you've experienced this. You're by yourself. No one's with you in your car, but you're literally having an argument with someone in your own mind, and you're getting frustrated. You probably got some road rage going on, right? You might be even speaking this argument out loud, yelling at the person, and there's no one there. There's no one in your passenger seat, no one in your back seat, but you're feeling these emotions. How powerful is that? But again, I want to take you guys out of that and help you see it with a different perspective. And so what I did with this client is I said, oh, let's reframe these ideas, these pictures, these images, this argument. Can you imagine now that you walk into work and your boss says, hey, you know what? I'm so glad that you're here today. We have an important project, and I know that you're the only one that can do it. You are just literally one of our best employees. I'm so glad to have you on the team, right? And just giving you positive energy and positive messages. And she said, oh, I can imagine that. And I don't know if it's really going to help, but let's do it and let's see what happens. We put together a process of some new ideas, some new thoughts, some new images for her to practice, and we will just see what the outcomes are going to be. The next day comes by and she goes back into work and nothing has really changed, right? However, she notices her boss isn't really like on her that day. He's just kind of in the office doing his own thing and she's able to get her work done, right? A couple more days pass and nothing really significant happens. However, I believe this was the third or the fourth day that she's been using this new practice of implementing these new pictures and ideas, these thoughts into her mind. And so this is the story. She tells me she goes into work, right? And again, nothing happens for about the first 30 minutes to an hour. She's working, she's doing her own thing. And then she hears that's the boss and she's asking her, hey, I need to see you in my office, right? And immediately she goes, reverts back to the past, to the old thoughts, to the old beliefs. And she's like, oh, well, what is it now? I know he's getting ready to yell and scream. What's getting ready to happen now, right? And because we've been working on these processes, she goes, no, I'm not going to think like that. I'm going to think positive. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to stay in a positive energy and just see what happens. She goes into the office and the boss sits down with a serious look on his face. He looks up at her and he apologizes. And he says, you know what? I have taken a look at my behavior and how our working relationship has gone, and I'm ashamed of myself, and I want to say sorry. You are actually one of our best employees, and I've been treating you like you're one of the worst. And I just want to truly say I'm sorry and I apologize for that. I really think you're an asset to our team, and I would hate to lose you. I'm going to do whatever I can to help us build a better environment, a better work relationship here. And I truly just want to say thank you for everything that you've done for the site and our company. And that was it. And so she's telling me this story and she's literally experiencing these emotions again, just shocked. What the heck just happened? And he even used some of the words that she was imagining, that she was visualizing, that she was hearing him say, right? That she was one of their best employees, right? And how he wants to improve the work environment, right? Guys, this is so huge. And what am I trying to get you to understand? I want you to understand, based on this activity, that if you can take an energy from an experience that you had in your past and you're able to pull that energy back into your present moment right now, can you not also project, right, the outcomes, the results, the things that you want to have, the person that you want to be, the things that you want to do? You can, right? And I'm telling you that you can. It's very easy. And if you decide to write down a goal, right? To write down an outcome or a desire that you have and create a image or a picture of it and start to see yourself living that, being that, doing that, having whatever it is, there's no way that you're not going to start to be feeling some type of emotion, right? And you're not experiencing that right now. I can picture myself driving my dream car, living in my dream house, doing the things that I want to do, being the person I want to be. And I can come back to my current reality and say, well, I'm not there yet, but I feel good because I know that I'm using my emotional compass. And when I'm feeling good, I know I'm moving towards my goals and dreams. I'm moving towards the person that I want to be, right? This is truly amazing. Emotions are, to close the loop, are resource states. And in the past, you may not have known this, so you were reacting to your external environment, right? You weren't really realizing what is going on, but now you can take a second, you can decide what emotional state is going to be the best, what emotional state is going to get me the outcome that I want. You can use your emotions as a feedback mechanism, as guidance to say, hey, this emotion is not working. I don't feel good. But this emotion, boom, that's the one. And if you're having difficulty generating that emotion, go back into your past, recall those happy feelings when you were optimistic, when you were joyful, when you were just high on life, when you were optimistic and you believed in yourself and you truly believed that you could be, do, or have anything that you want. Bring that energy now into your present. And what happens when you do that, now you're in a different state. You're going to think differently. Your actions are going to be different. You're going to speak differently. Your behaviors are going to be different. Your habits are going to be different. But most importantly, your results are going to be different and your outcomes are going to be different as well too. And then look at the difference. Look at what happens when you're in X state and look at your results, and then look at what happens when you're in Y state and look at your results and look at the outcomes. And notice the differences, reflect, implement what I'm telling you guys, and transform, change, because you truly have everything that it takes within you to be the person you want to be, do the things that you want to do, and have whatever it is that you want to have. EQ, right? Let's move on. EQ, having a high EQ, emotional intelligence, means being aware of, understanding, and managing your emotions while also being considerate of the emotions of others. It's a crucial skill in both your personal and your professional life. And this is what I was alluding to when we were using the exercise, right? And this is something that you can practice. You can practice emotions, right? This is amazing. And you can practice when you're in different situations, scenarios, circumstances. Again, you can be in the best resource state that's going to give you the outcome that you desire, all right? And as you begin to implement this and you're around other people and you're in different social situations, you're going to learn emotional calibration, right? And how to calibrate your own emotions. That way, of course, you get the outcomes that you desire, but also how to influence the emotions of other people as well, too. Now, how powerful is that? If you could, for my salespeople, if you could walk into a room and by having mastery over your emotions and over communication and things like that, that you could literally have investors just throwing money at you because you know how to get them in a specific state. And based on that emotional state, you understand that people are going to take certain actions in certain states. If I'm depressed, anxious, worried, stressed out, I'm probably not going to take inspired action. But if I feel confident, if I feel empowered, if I feel resourceful, I'm going to take actions that are going to reflect that energy that are definitely going to be inspired. All right. Again, I talked about this in our first episode. Emotions are a guide, they are feedback. They're not your enemies, they're signals. They're guiding you towards what feels right and warning you away from what's wrong or what you actually don't want to experience, potential missteps. The next time you face a decision, check in with yourself, check your emotions, and what are they telling you? Remember, in mastering our emotions, we're not just improving our reactions to our emotions or the world around us, the external world. It's about harnessing one of the most powerful tools we have for our personal growth and success, because these emotions, they come from within us. It's no longer the time to allow external environments, circumstances, or people to dictate how you feel and your results. No, now is the time to master yourself, master your emotions so you can use them to achieve the outcomes that you want. So you can be the person that you want to be, you can do the things that you want to do, and you can have whatever it is that you want to have. And my favorite saying, if you master your emotions, then you'll definitely make sure that the next part of your life will be the best part of your life, all right? Today's episode was talking about emotional mastery, all right? Hey, and there's the bell right there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming to class today. Grab your belongings, your backpack, and your notes, and I'll see you guys in our next class.
Yeah, I'm fly, got a cape on. Superhero, it's a fly zone. Get your game on, self-talk on. We gon' live long, and we feeling strong. Always put my fear to the side. If the goal is success, that's mine.